You can. So Chag Sameach, Chag Sameach. So welcome back to the Wimbledon Synagogue, especially those who are on YouTube, but also a special welcome to the Demut family who are here this evening in full numbers. And it's wonderful to see many generations coming together as we just dedicated a tree in honor or in the achievements of AGR, the Association of Jewish Refugees, and also in the memory of Lotte and Stefan Demut. So we will hear perhaps a little bit later about them, when I will invite Walter to share his little prepared speech, which we decided to take into this building, into the sanctuary. Indeed, it's a sanctuary as it is a little bit cold and misery outside. So we have typical April weather. So we started with a wonderful sunshine this morning and a warm day, and we are now in back to winter nearly. It feels this way. But also we're here as we mark the last day of our Pesach journey. And this is the day where we mark the passing of the Israelites through the Sea of Reeds. So it is the moment perhaps of birth of the Jewish people. So it is indeed, as I also said with the tree planting, a moment to celebrate life and to look forward to the future that comes with hope and with joy. So I will now ask Marietta to light for us the festival candles, and then we will say the blessing for the Yom Tov together. And if you are able to, please rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Yom Tov. And Pesach Sameach, Chag Sameach, you may be seated. And we have an opening reading, which on this evening we're still in our Machzorim for Pesach. And it's on page 16, and you can choose.
The enslaved man has no concept of freedom, yet he cannot become free unless he has a concept of freedom. The biblical story gives an answer to this paradox. The beginning of liberation lies in man's capacity to suffer, and he suffers if he is oppressed, physically and spiritually. The suffering moves him to act against his oppressors, to seek the end of the oppression, although he cannot yet seek a freedom of which he knows nothing. If man has lost the capacity to suffer, he has also lost the capacity for change. In the first step of revolution, however, he develops new powers which he could not have had while he lived as a slave, and these new powers eventually make it possible for him to achieve freedom. In the process of liberation, however, he is in danger of falling back into the old pattern of slavery. Does God make it possible for man to become free by changing his heart? Does God intervene in the historical process? No. Man is left to himself and makes his own history. God helps, but never by changing man's nature, by doing what only man can do for himself. To put it in my own non-theistic language, man is left to himself, and no one can do for him what he's unable to do for and by himself.
Thank you. Very interesting thought by Erich Fromm. And I would like to add another comment which you can find on page 19. It starts with a quote from Mechilta B'Shalach, teaching of the rabbis, and there it says, "The children of Israel stood on the shore of the Sea of Reeds. Behind them, the pursuing Egyptian army. Before them, the impassable waters." Our rabbis taught, one group said, "Let's throw ourselves into the sea." One group said, "Let us return to Egypt." One group said, "Let us fight them." And one group said, "Let us cry out against them." Many times in our history we have stood before such a sea with danger behind us and ahead. Not all our prayers were answered, not all our hopes were met, but Israel still journeys on. All of us stand before such a sea with uncertain behind us and ahead. May we always find the strength from God to cross the floods that lie before us. May we discern God's purpose when the waters threaten to overwhelm us. And we turn now to page 84-85. That is a big jump forward in our prayer books, 84-85. Well, we find Psalm 122, a pilgrimage song. I rejoiced when they said to me, "Let us go to the house of God." And now our feet are standing inside your gates, O Jerusalem, Jerusalem rebuilt as a city where all are united together. Here the tribes came up, the tribes of God, for it is the mark of Israel to thank the name of God. There were the seats of justice, the throne of the house of David. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. Peace be within your walls, tranquility inside your homes. For the sake of my family and friends, I call out, peace be with you. For the sake of the house of the Eternal, our God, I will seek our good. And if you are able to, please rise for the Baruch Hu. We're still on page 84-85. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamevorach Baruch Adonai hamevorach hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Thank you. Please be seated. And we're on page 85. Blessed are you, our living God, sovereign of the universe, whose words bring on the evening twilight, who opens the gates of dawn with wisdom and with foresight, makes time pass and season change. Your plan sets the stars in their course in the sky, creating day and night, turning light into darkness and darkness into light. You make the day fade away and bring on the night, separating day and night. You are the ruler of the hosts of heaven. Blessed are you, God, who brings on the evening twilight. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'arif aravim. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chokim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta, al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu ufkumeinu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach v'na'alos b'divrei Toratecha u'mitzvotecha, v'chukotecha le'olam va'ed, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. Baruch atah Adonai ohev et amo Yisrael. Blessed are you, God, who loves your people Israel. Amen. And we're saying together the Shema, page 86. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך. וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך. וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. And we'll turn to page 91, where is the reading for the 7th day of Pesach. And it says, the Egyptians pursued them and overtook them and camped beside the sea. All the horses and chariots of Pharaoh, his commanders and army besides Pihatarot, before Baal Zephon. As Pharaoh drew near, the children of Israel raised their eyes. See, Egypt is coming after them. Then they were terribly afraid, and the children of Israel cried out to the Eternal. They said, Moses, there weren't enough graves in Egypt that you brought us to die in the wilderness. What is this that you have done to us? Bring us out of Egypt. Isn't this what we said when we spoke to you in Egypt, saying, keep away from us and let us serve the Egyptians, for it is better to be a slave to Egypt than to die in the wilderness? Then Moses said to the people, do not fear. Take up your position and see the deliverance that the Eternal will accomplish for you this day. For as you have seen Egypt today, you will never see them again. The Eternal will battle for you, and you must be still. And we continue on page 99. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם ונתנו על ציצית הכנף בלתי תכלת והיה לכם לציצית וראיתם אותו וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי. והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. אמת ואמונה כל זאת וקיים עלינו, כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו, ואין זולתו, ואנחנו ישראל עמו. העושה גדולות עד אין חקר ונבלעות עד אין מספר, והאהוב ענף גבורתו, שיברו והודו לשמור מלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם. משה ובני ישראל, לך אנו שירה בשמחה רבה, ואמרו כולם. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך אדוני אלוהינו ראו בניך על הים, יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. And in the bottom of page 99, we have our blessing, which we read as a prayer for God's gift of peace, joy, and rest. And also, as we do on every regular Shabbat, we dedicate this prayer to those, especially in the Ukraine, who are victims of this war. And we pray that hopefully peace and joy will return to their homes, so that freedom, as we celebrate it, will also be part of their life's experience again. Source of our life and our sovereign, cause us to lie down in peace and rise again to enjoy life. Spread over us the covering of your peace. Guide us with good counsel and save us for the sake of your name. Be a shield about us, turning away every enemy, disease, violence, hunger, and sorrow. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings. For you are God, who guards and protects us, a ruler of mercy and compassion. Guard us when we go out and when we come in to enjoy life and peace, both now and forever, and spread over us the shelter of your peace. Blessed are you, God, spreading the shelter of peace over us, over your people Israel, and over all the world. Baruch atah Adonai haporeh sukat shalom aleinu ve'al amo Yisrael ve'al kol ha'olam. And we're in the center of page 100. Ele mo'adei Adonai mikra'ei kodesh asher tikru otam mo'adam. And if you are able to, please rise for the Amidah, which begins on page 100, 101, and continues, and I will announce pages when we have to skip something. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi agitei latecha. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi agitei latecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Rivka, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, קונה הכל, וזוכה חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גואל לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ושרה. Page 102. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה מתימת הרב, להושיע מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, זומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל כבוד ומדום מלך, מלך ממיד ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. In the left column, אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. אתה וחתנו מכל העמים, אהבת אותנו ורצית בנו, ורוממתנו מכל הלשונות, וקידשתנו במצוותיך, וקרבתנו מלכנו לעבודתך. ושמך הגדול והקדוש עלינו קראת, ותיתן לנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה, מועדים לשמחה, חגים וזמנים לששון. את יום חג המצות הזה, זמן חירותנו, מקרא קודש שכל יציאת מצרים. אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, יעלה ויבוא ויגיע ויראה וירצה וישמע ויפקד ויזכר זיכרוננו וגדוננו וזיכרון אבותינו ואמותינו וזיכרון משיח בן דוד עבדך וזיכרון ירושלים יקודשך וזיכרון כל עמך בית ישראל לפניך לבלטה ולטובה לחן ולחסד ולרחמים לחיים ולשלום ביום חג המצות הזה. זוכנו אדוני אלוהינו בו לטובה, ופוקדנו בו לברכה, והושיענו בו לחיים. ובדבר ישועה ורחמים חוז וחוננו, כי אליך עינינו, כי אל מלך חנון ורחום אתה. Bestow on us the blessing of your festivals and make us worthy of the new life, joy and peace you promised us. Make us holy through your commands and let us share in the work of your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness and let our souls know the joy of your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your love and goodwill, let us inherit your holy festivals with joy and happiness, and may all Israel who seeks holiness find their happiness fulfilled in you. Blessed are you, God, who hallows Israel and the festivals. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh Yisrael Hazmanim. And page 106. רצה אדוני אלוהינו בעמך ישראל ותפילתם שאהו ורחמך הרבים תחפוץ בנו ותשרה שכינתך על ציון ותחזינה עינינו בתשובך לציון ברחמים. ברוך אתה אדוני המחזיר שכינתו לציון. We declare with gratitude that you are our God and the God of the generations before us. You are our rock, the rock of our life and the shield that saves us. In every generation we thank you and recount your praise for our lives held in your hand and our souls that are in your care and for the signs of your presence that are with us every day. At every moment, at evening, morning and noon, we experience your wonders and your goodness. You are goodness itself, for your mercy has no end. You are mercy itself, for your love has no limit. Forever have we put our hope in you, and for all these things may your name, our sovereign, be blessed, exalted, and honored forever and ever. May every living being thank you, and may they praise and bless your great name in truth, for you are the God who saves and helps us. Blessed are you, God, known as goodness, whom it is right to praise. Baruch atah Adonai hatov shemcha ulecha na'eh lehodod. Shalom Hav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Hav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levachech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai hamavarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Blessed are you, God, blessing your people Israel with peace. And you may be seated and we have a short moment for a private reflection, and then after that I will invite Walter to share his memories. Peace, the great meaning, has not been defined. When we say peace as a word, war, as a flare of fire leaps across our eyes. We went to the school, think war, cancel war. We were taught what is left is peace. No, peace is not left. It is not canceling. The fears and human peace is our deep power, born to us of wish and responsibility. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol ha'olam. Hu yaseh shalom, hu yaseh shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael, hu ya'aseh shalom, hu ya'aseh shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael, hu ya'aseh shalom, hu ya'aseh shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael, hu ya'aseh shalom, hu ya'aseh shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael, ve'akol b'nei Adam v'meru, Amen. Walter, which of the two lecterns you prefer?
The closer one. That's all right.
Yes.
It's a long time since I stood up on such an august platform, and I haven't really prepared a speech, so I won't give one. But I have a couple of thank yous to say, and also a few words about my parents to whom the tree is dedicated. First of all, a thank you to all of you for coming this evening, and particularly to 3 generations of my 4-generation family. I have the regrets of the 4th generation. He's 15 months old, he just started to walk, but his mum is here to represent him. So we're very, very proud, I am very, very proud, as is Mariette, of course, that so many of you have been able to make it, despite all the challenging jobs that you have and all the work which you have to do, which thank goodness I'm retired from. I would like to thank Rabbi Adrian very much also for he was kind enough to visit us at home not so long ago, and I must admit it to my shame, it's the first time I met him, to my shame only because we are no longer attenders at Synagogue, although we've been members of Wimbledon Synagogue. I think it's now approaching 50 years. And when originally it was in Warple Road, and I think perhaps Stella Mason, you might remember that. Do you? Sorry, you. But I don't know if they're, anyway. We've been very, although we are not attenders, we still, both Mariette and I, and feel very Jewish, and very much, we are, though less observant than we should be, we very much enjoy, as our family will know, the Jewish holidays or holy days, which we use as family occasions and get together as a family, which is a great blessing for us. And I would like to thank Hilary for having organized this day, or this tree ceremony, not the ceremony perhaps so much as the planting of the tree. It took 18 months for the tree to find a home, and thank goodness we found it here in such a lovely spot, in such a lovely location. And as I say, it took 18 months to get here, and 5 minutes from then to now. But Hilary organised it all in 5 minutes, done. Tree planted, plaque planted, everything under control. Thank you very much indeed, Hilary. So nice of you. A quick word on the AGR. You heard from Anthony Spiro, who said he had to leave, and I don't think he's here now. But the AGR has done so much good for Jewish refugees in this country, well, for 82 years now. And it is to them really that I was delighted that when the opportunity came for their 80th anniversary to sponsor a tree, that we could sponsor one, and there it is, and we shall watch it grow. And I think, as you said, Rabbi, you will be able to watch it daily and make sure it blossoms, and with your blessing, I'm sure it will grow more quickly than any other tree in the neighborhood. You counted also with the rain on me, and I didn't fulfill. So. Anyway, thank you all very much. The synagogue, everyone. I don't know who planted the tree, but thank you to the person who planted it. Is there a caretaker, I presume, who does it? And it looks a delight. I must admit, to my sorrow, it's a rowan tree, and I haven't looked up what a rowan tree actually looks like in full bloom, but it assures me it's absolutely gorgeous. So I look forward to seeing it in the future. Just let me say very quickly about my parents, Stefan and Lotte de Muth. They emigrated here to this country in August 1938, a fair while ago. They were very ordinary family, ordinary in the sense that they were a normal family, and what to say about them? Nothing remarkable, except that they were wonderful parents. My father had done some business in the UK, and he'd managed to get a job with a firm of leather merchants in Bermondsey. And the fact that he had a job facilitated his obtaining a visa for the whole family. My mother, my baby sister, who was 1 year old at the time, who sadly passed away last month, and 6-year-old me. Lucky us, just before Kristallnacht, and we had not been physically affected. My father had been director of a leather factory in Frankfurt am Main, and we were comfortably off. However, we were unable to take out anything from Germany, so that my parents had to restart their lives from scratch in their 30s with 2 young children to support. Well, they had sought sanctuary in this country, and I must say, they and we never looked back. Despite the war years, we had a very happy family life. They were wonderful parents, very caring, but also great fun. They had a large circle of friends, many other refugees like them, but also a large number of English friends. My father was a jolly, outgoing man, well-liked and respected by his peers. Business in those days was a friendly as well as a competitive activity. But I do remember my father kept a small suitcase packed ready and waiting for the call to internment as a potential enemy alien, which fortunately never came, although his younger brother was in fact interned in the Isle of Man and then Canada for a couple of years. During the war, he also, being an alien, was not suitable, or was not able to join the service, the army or air force, or the army would have been. But he did volunteer for the fire brigade and spent 2 nights a week driving a fire engine in northwest London, which sounds good fun, but I don't think it was in those days. Anyway, that was his contribution to the War Office. It wasn't easy for them. Remember, we were German, even though Jewish, and refugees. And many English people lived at that time with a feeling that the only good German was a dead German. Still, we were accepted in this country and treated very well. I can't remember one instance as a schoolboy of any form of anti-Semitism or ostracism because of my origins. My father sadly died at the age of 61, but my father lived on for many years, fiercely independent and undemanding. She adored her grandchildren, who in turn idolized her. Sadly, she never lived to see her great-grandchildren, nearly all of whom are here today. In fact, I believe there's only one great-grandchild missing. Well, he's, I think, just about arriving in Nairobi, so he couldn't really quite manage to come. And sorry, I've lost my place. That's terrible. Never used to do that when I was younger. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, I'm really delighted that you all could come. And partners, it's just lovely. Thank you all very, very, very much. And yes, I'm sorry. We're now quite, a large and very happy family, including partners and one great-grandchild. We number 18, so that was quite a thing. My parents would have been very, very, very proud, as are, of course, Mariette and I. Our children and I are very pleased to have sponsored this tree in their memory, and in honor of the 80th anniversary of the Association of Jewish Refugees, who have done and are doing so much good for the benefit of the still quite large community of, as you heard from Anthony, of first-generation Jewish refugees and their descendants. Thank you all very, very, very much. Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you. And yeah, it is, of course, an honor to have you as a member, and we are not judging. If you are sitting at home and enjoy the family on a festival day or on a Shabbat, it's also fine. As long as you feel comfortable, then we are also happy. And thank you. And
thank you very much.
Whenever you feel that you want to look at the tree, or in future years, let's say your son then sitting in the shade of that tree while being in Cheder, I'm sure we will be still there so that he can enjoy the tree.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. We will conclude the service with two important things. The first is that we will count the Omer. So we are in our journey from Passover, from Pesach to Shavuot, and in our journey we mark the sixth day. So if you want to join in the blessing, it is on page 660, 660. And I hope it's correct. Yes. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu at sfirat ha'omer, and 661, Hayom Shisha Yamim LaOmer. This is the sixth day of the Omer. And I hope that when tomorrow we mark the seventh day, a full week since we embarked on that journey, that this will be indeed also then a day of joy and rest and blessing to all of us. We go back in our prayer book. Unfortunately, it's going back and forth. So we're on page 108, and there we will find the Aleinu prayer, our prayer, recognizing our duty towards God and building the kingdom of God, and also our vision of a messianic time. And if you're able to, please rise. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, התת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. Page 110. We remember all those, Jews and Gentile alike, who helped their fellow creatures to freedom, who assisted the poor and persecuted, and who have gone to the eternal rest. Amen. Please be seated, and we have a handful of wonderful announcements.
Yes, starting with the fact that the service will begin at 10:30 tomorrow. And we are delighted that we are going to have one of our younger members who will be will be singing to the Song of the Sea, which should be lovely as one of the Torah readings. There's time, but join your attention to the fact there will be a Yom HaShoah service on the 17th of April, starting at 6:45 for a 7 o'clock start, and that will be the story of Layla Black, who is the grandmother of one of our members. And Jacqueline, I think it's Jacqueline, isn't it, will be talking about that. Yes, Jacqueline Luck, one of our members, will be doing that. Just a notice of a stone setting for Golda Friedman, who's the mother of Michael and Danny Friedman, members here. The full information is in our newsletter. And their book club will be taking place as usual, and is on Zoom as well as in person, so anybody is more than welcome to join us. And on the 29th of April, Yom HaZikaron, Yom HaSmut will be commemorated at 7:30 in the shul, when we'll be looking at From Babylon to Israel. There'll be a talk then. And don't forget, the celebration party for the coronation will be on Friday, the 5th of May, and will be in the afternoon with lots of interesting things for the young people as well as the older ones, and lovely food. And then we'll conclude with our service in the synagogue. And again, if you want to see the coronation on a big screen, we'll be starting our service at 9:15 on the coronation day, and well, then have our big screen up for everybody to enjoy watching it together. Thank you, Rabbi.
So we're not skipping Shabbat because of the coronation, but we'll start just a little bit earlier, and then there's the big screen. If no one comes, I will watch it by myself. I'm very happy to do that with my flag and so on, with the flag. It's also in the newsletter, very important. So for the children, we will have a special activity on the Monday, this public holiday, where they will give a little bit back by going into the common and pick up some litter, but then also have a picnic, and the rangers will come and will tell them perhaps a little bit about the wildlife of the common. Besides the foxes, there is a little bit more to discover, and this is all then on the 8th. All the information have been sent, and you can always ask but we're looking forward to celebrate and do the coronation. And perhaps the king makes a little stop over here. So it's beautiful here. So, and I'm sure there will be something nice to eat on our garden party on Friday evening. With this, I want to say once again thank you to all of you. I know there is a little problem with the YouTube, so that happens sometimes. But in any case, please get home safely and celebrate tomorrow the sunshine, the rain as it comes. If you don't know what to do, please come here to the sanctuary. We will have another wonderful service, as we heard with the Shirat Hayam. With this, Chag Sameach, Pesach Sameach, and join us for a little cake and a little drink and kiddush, which we do right now. Thank you very much. Chag Sameach.